Hey everybody. Welcome to our live stream. Lovely to see you all here. I'm just for the first time looking at the chat here, which is great. Let me say hi to a few people. It's a wonderful day. It's beautiful here in North Adams. The sun is shining and it's warm. Even it feels like summer again. It's kind of wild. Anyway, hope you're all well out there. This is the streaming of the Belfast Method project. I'll tell you a little bit more about it in a while. We'll also welcome our wonderful visual artist Tlaloc Lopez-Waterman to the stage here, and we'll have a little bit of a conversation. But first of all, just want to say hi and thank you for coming to the stream. You can watch the stream at my YouTube channel, of course, at youtube.com/Todd Reynolds, which you probably are, or you can also watch it at toddreynolds.live, where it is also streaming as well. And let's see, what more? I'm trying not to miss anything I had in my head. I just want to remind myself that I want to tell you about, because we have some exciting things coming up that I want to let you know about. So first of all, let me just say hi first. So let's go from the top. Hey, Dennis Champion Walker, thank you for being here. That's awesome. Accidental Theater, straight from Belfast, Ireland, where the originators of the Belfast project, of this idea of controlling camera switching and graphics and audio and everything from like through wires and over the sea. We've got 5 or 6 people. I'm going to have to go through them name by name and share them with you later. But we've got folks behind the scenes producing this stream. So happy to be playing really this kind of rough and tumble game of making things work with them. So Andre Dwell, hey Todd and crew, thank you. Oh, this would be very trippy with VR goggles on. I like it, Todd. Thanks, Nick Pavlinak. Nick comes to our streams a lot. Special shout out. Also, let's see who else we got here. Stephen Koplowitz is here. Stephen is a site-specific choreographer who I work with extensively over the years, who I've worked with extensively over the years. And some of the tunes that you might have heard on this very stream were inspired by his work that we did up in Maine together in 2017. So if you were here last stream, you would have heard some of that work for sure. And let's see, who else? Isabelle is in the background. She's going to throw up some of these chats for me to respond to as well. Yasha Narvison, Fly Reynolds Air. I saw Guy Cochran is here too. He said wild visuals. Well, that's all Tláloc, isn't it? William Lenhart, brilliant, beautiful. Wow, thank you, Bill. Bill is one of our neighbors up here in North Adams, and his wonderful wife, Stephanie Boyd, a fantastic potter. Helen Yee's here, very exciting. Thank you so much. Hey, Yasha. Great to see you. Please give my love to Lainey. Alex Lindsay's here. Thanks, Alex. Yeah. So I should tell you a little bit more about the Belfast project. I still want to wait on that. Let me just say hi to some people I haven't seen yet. Eric Price, great to see you. Laura, hey, great to see you. Let's see, Raymond is here. Hey Raymond, thanks for coming. Tony Mobley is here. We're doing our thing. Thank you, Tony. Tony has his own wonderful show on Wednesday nights called Conversations with Tony Mobley. You can investigate that at conversationswithTonyMobley.com. And in fact, Tláloc, who's making the visual art for us today, is the producer for that show as well. So Jeffrey Powers says we're here in After Hours. I'll tell you about After Hours too. Dojo Music, yes. Josh Kaufman, wow, all the folks. Laura says great sound and miss you on office hours. Thank you, Laura. Thanks, Eric. Yeah, really wonderful. Andre Chumley is here. Andre Chumley has a a number of wonderful streams that he does. One on Meatless Mondays. He just came off the road, taking care of the keyboard section on Pat Metheny's last tour. So great to see you here, David Brady from New York City. Thank you all for coming. If anybody has any questions today about what Tláloc is doing in the background, how we're executing all this, please feel free to ask them here in chat. Isabelle will put them up on the chat, and we'll answer them. We'll talk about them, even as Tláloc and I are talking a little bit later on, because we'll have a little bit of a conversation. Peter Siegenthaler, thank you so much for coming, Peter. I think I've covered almost everybody. I hope I didn't miss anybody. That's always the danger. Keith Harrison. I see Keith nearly every morning on a Zoom call, and it's wonderful. He's always up in England, and I'm just opening my one eye. Ken Jordan as well. Thank you, Ken. Yeah, one more mention for toddreynolds.live, which is a site that we're developing specifically for these live streams. Thank you, Dan Huber. Glad you're here too. So anyway, just to show you, maybe if I can ask our folks just to show you around the studio a little bit, since we have that available, I'll just give you a little tiny bit of insight into what I'm working with here. At least that'll get us started for today. This right here is my lovely beast. This is a synthesizer that I built. When you say build a synthesizer, it doesn't mean you really do anything except buy other people's modules that they have built and put them together in a certain way, so you have certain types of control of things. This right here is one of my favorite pieces of kit, period, in the history of the universe. A man named Brian Crabtree designed this. This is called the Monome. It's the Monome Grid. And this someday on a further stream, on a stream in the future, I'll tell you all about this and exactly how it works if you're interested. And this is actually making the music that's happening here in the synthesizer. In terms of what notes come out and when, that's what's controlling that. This wonderful MIDI fighter twister from DJ Tech Tools just allows me to assign anything I want to one button to quickly make an adjustment, like that one. Anyway, but that's a lovely piece of kit. This over here is from Livid Instruments in Austin, Texas. It's called the Control R, and this I have mapped to my looping device, so I can fade up and fade down. Different loops that I make, right? And I can also mute them and solo them, or make them fade out just over time. I'm showing you all my secrets. That's okay, because I care about you. Or fade them back in, of course. That's another thing we can do too. And just alter things in all sorts of ways. And then over here to the left is the Ableton push. It's no secret. It's no secret that Ableton Live is absolutely my very favorite tool that I use. These are all just tools for making music in real time. And so this push, Ableton push, actually controls what you're about to see, which is my actual screen that I look at and how I make the music for you as I make it. That's on my laptop screen, and that's in camera 4, 5, 6, 7, and so we'll bring that up. Well, you can actually see it right there in this shot, and you'll see this is Mobius, which is a program written by Jeff Larson many years ago, which sits inside of Ableton. But that's what I was controlling when I was using the faders. And then Ableton Push basically allows you to see everything that is in your session. Everything that you have pre-recorded, everything that you record live. If you want to trigger a different drone, it's very, very easy to do so. We just do it. Where are they? Where'd they go? There they are. Just a different one, right? And you want some drums. You can mix some drums. Are not too well quantized. In any case, that's the push. So that's the basic tour of my studio. It's a quick one. Hey, Jared Ratcliffe, really great to see you. Thanks for stopping by today. So yeah, so that's my studio. So I'm going to play for you a little bit more, and then we'll talk with Tlaloc Lopez-Waterman. Thank you, Mickey. Oh man, I just want to grow up is all I want to do. All right, so these are my toys. Thanks to all of you for playing in this marvelous, beautiful, fantastic artistic sandbox with me. Yeah, let me find something I really... So this is kind of an old collection of things I'm going to pull up here and begin to work with. And then we'll be able to, there we go. Haven't played with these loops for a while. All right. There's that. So let me just catch up with the chat. Raymond says this psychedelia takes me back to my days at the Fillmore East, grooving to Joshua's. I forgot. I didn't see quite what that said. Yet another mad journey. Raymond, you're on it today. Look at all these pull quotes you're giving us. Wonderful. Eck Potter, hi. Great to see you. And Andre says, don't ever grow up. I promise. Thanks, Yasha. Thanks, all of you. Wow, this is great. This is great. Love to see all of you folks. So I think it's time. Let's talk a bit. I want to actually introduce you right away to becoming my very, very dear friend. But we've only been friends for like a few months. This is Tlaloc Lopez-Waterman, who's going to join me. Let me just put my fiddle down. Hey, Tlaloc.
Hello. It's great to be here.
You just heard his dog Marley, who I have
the shake,
been
shake,
very,
shake
very
from the Marley.
happy to know. Yeah. Tlaloc, thank you so much for playing in the sandbox with me today. Tlaloc is a set designer, a lighting designer. He's got a designer artist brain, and yet is so what is that? Equated? No, it's not equated. Is so acquainted with all of the deep tech side that all that stuff brings in design, and also brings it to live streaming. So that's how Tlaloc and I met in something called Office Hours Global, officehours.global. You can visit that website to see what that's about. It's a community of folks who love to center themselves in tech and live event creation and streaming and so forth. So welcome, Tláloc. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Todd. Yeah,
He's been...
you say I'm a lighting designer, but as it turns out, I'm unable to light myself. But that's okay. We had
no. I mean, it is always true. The cobbler's children have no shoes. I think this is
that's right.
This is one of those things we've said for many years.
We've been having a lot of fun, and we've been pushing a lot of envelopes with this project. You know, we have a bunch of people all over the world helping make this happen. There are, as I like to say, you know, we're spinning a lot of plates, and they're all sort of like, oh, but what if we tried? And what if we tried? We like to add things and add things and add things just to see how far we can push it. And it's a lot of fun. We have pieces of equipment that are talking to other pieces of equipment across the world, making many of the things that you've been seeing tonight happen in relation to and in handshake with the music that Todd is making. And so I really love that part of it, is that, you know, trying to bring that in. We have 4 channels of different parts of Todd's music that I can choose from and decide which one is going to be doing something to the visuals. We have violin by itself. We have violin with some reverb. We have ancillaries and program. So that means I can kind of move around and see what part of the music is going to do what to any given visual that I have that actually has those handles connected into it.
Yeah. And to kind of broaden out the description just a little bit further, to kind of bring everybody into the room with all the knowledge possible, in this officehours.global crew that meets on a Zoom call every morning and answers questions on YouTube, and there's many projects that go into it. It was started by Alex Lindsay, MacBreak Weekly fame, also, you know, one of the great pioneers of photography and streaming, and so it now goes 24 hours a day. So there's something called After Hours, even, where we all hang out and dig down into stuff that we can't solve or that people can't solve, and it's a lot of people Googling and trying to find answers, and we find answers for each other. So that's where all the people in the background are coming from today. And this project called the Belfast Method was started by Richard Lavery, who has a theater with his colleagues in Belfast, Northern Ireland, called the Accidental Theater. So right now we're kind of trading off every week, where we will all phone into his to like ET phone in to his theater and control his cameras and his switchers and mix audio and do things for songwriters and composers and musicians that want to come in and play and get broadcast to the rest of the world. So that happens every other week. And then we kind of wire into my house here in North Adams every other week. So that's who it is. I want to mention all these folks because their names are important. Often you don't hear about people who are behind the scenes producing and directing. Most of the time we have Aaron Husledge working with us as director today, Tlaloc and Manolo Lozano and Jim Hankins and Brian Shand are all taking on that particular task together to make this stream. Brian is in Australia. Jim's in Detroit. Mickey is in Manila, in the Philippines, and of course Tláloc is in New York City. So that's Isabelle. Isabelle is back there helping manage the chat. She's in the location of the other room, which is very longitudinally and latitudinally close to me. So that's it. Did I forget anybody? For goodness sake. We already are getting questions, Tláloc, from Peter. A question from right across North Adams from you. When you are making those adjustments, how much are you working by eye, all those dazzling lights, and how much by ear? I think I'm going to let you answer that one first.
I think the answer is yes. I do. I definitely am listening to a feed from Todd, and I hope to sort of be working by heart. I think that's sort of what is different. You know, from other things, where it's not like I've made a cue that I think is going to go with something that we already know is going to happen. As I hear Todd make a difference and make a new piece of music and have a different emotional landscape, I kind of want to grab something in a way that will speak to that. And so and then we mix it in a different way in the mixer, or we bring it in with a super source. And how do we sort of ease into those emotional valences that go up and down in Todd's music? And that's kind of what I like to try to do.
Yeah, and if I were to answer that question, just in case you were asking me as well, Peter, the all these lights right here give me some feedback, but most of the time I have enough control here that I know what foot pedals and dials do, to where I can make layers rather seamlessly, and that's one of the things that's interesting. So for everybody on the stream who is not versed in broadcasting, telecasting, streaming, who's not versed in that, let us just say that is kind of similar between Tláloc and myself. In the technical world of creating video live, there are layers. We call them keys, but there are layers of importance of data, of visual material, which can then be layered onto one another. I think that's kind of obvious, but when Tláloc mentioned super source, that's that ability to be able to divide things into boxes and to be able to place different cameras inside the frame in different ways. But it's kind of cool because I make layers. That's kind of what I do. And going back to the yes, Dennis, we can talk about how we're bringing the video together from different locations. Both going back to the plate spinning analogy, not only do Tláloc and I both like to break things by taking them to the edge, like plates, but also
Thanks.
We're both improvisers at heart, right? So my happy place is making something up from scratch, from really nothing. I'm that kind of a cook, and at least in this case, that's how Tláloc is working as well. So maybe we should answer Dennis's question. You want to start with that one, Tláloc?
So the question was about
the question
is
how we're bringing video together from different locations.
So in this particular case, we're talking with each other through what's called a streaming bridge. I'm streaming out to a streaming bridge in Detroit, and that is then being vision mixed into the stream so that you all can see me. And then Todd is doing the same thing, is sending a stream out to another streaming bridge in Detroit, except he has a lot more cameras and more interesting things to look at. So he's, that gets switched around. So that's how that happens.
Yeah, what's also really compelling to note is that just like when you're on a Zoom call, or even when you're on the old school telephone, and there's that awful delay, kind of like which causes Tláloc and myself to kind of talk over each other now and then. It's this delay, and we call it latency. And in the electronic world, just because of the speed of light, the speed of sound, and the speed of data transmission, there's always some sort of latency. So what's super cool about this is that I'm sending a ton of data, cameras, and audio to Jim Hankins in Detroit, and that's one stream. And then Tláloc is actually managing a computer that is there next to Jim. And then Mickey in the Philippines is syncing those two things together so that when they actually get broadcast to you, they appear in sync and are as close in sync as we can get them.
I'd like to speak about that. What Todd is talking about is, so there's two things that happen. I'm feeding back some video of Todd through my Isadora software, but I'm also hearing the program into Isadora from Todd. So what we can do is, because there's a delay, is we can shift that audio coming in to be in line with the visuals coming out and with the actual actuation of those visuals. So then on top of that, the video coming into the Isadora is going to be delayed again. And so we sort of leverage that a little bit and try to show a clean feed of Todd that's going to be locked in, as well as my visuals that are going to be delayed. And so that sort of, gives us either a little bit of a trace or a little bit of an offset that we hope kind of still works, because it's you have that clean feed ready to go. And clean feeds is there and easy to see.
Yeah, it's really happy accidents that we're working with half the time, right? Tlaloc, some things that are kind of unpredictable.
It is, and it's not. I kind of have to think. We kind of have to think about every one of these parts of the process as tools. And,
yeah, no, it is true. But at least in my case, there are so many levels of discovery of those tools. Like, oh my goodness, when I do this, it does this. When I do this, it does this. Well, let's try that, and what is that result? And then it turns into a tool. That's how it works in my software world. I thought maybe that might be kind of how it works in yours.
It does too. And it's like a trial and error is king. And I think that there's a lot for me as an artist, as a personal growth thing. I always have learned the most from that, to sort of let go of the intentionality of, oh, I know how this is going to work, and actually work on it and push through it and trial and error it and see what comes out of it. And then the sum is greater than the parts. And that's what I love most about art is watching the sum be either greater or less than the parts, which if they're less than the parts, then we try again. But if they're greater than the parts, then we have an experience.
Right on. Any other? Let me just check our chat for any other questions that might be coming from, especially from our friends in office hours, if there are any that I have missed. Want to make sure that I don't.
May not be.
I think they kind of know how all these things work over there. Any last? We should probably get back to making something else, and then say goodbye. Tlaloc, any final thoughts?
Thank you for
that we missed,
for letting me be part of this.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is so funny. Every time, like yesterday, we spent a lot of time troubleshooting and breaking things yesterday. Like a lot of time, like more hours than you would think. And when we finish the night, everybody's thanking each other. It's kind of, certainly that's a level of affection and respect that's obvious, but also it just goes to show what teamwork can really, really look like when there is equal investment. This happens to be going out on my stream, but this is our project. And it was inspired by Richard and his project, which was inspired by Alex and his project. So there's this line, this kind of lineage of us kind of branching out, and Tony with his project, and Hasmukh, our friend who produces a cooking show with his wife Damayanti Gajar, and there are all these projects that are kind of going on in office hours, which are intended to experiment, to explore, and to create scenarios for working more deeply and more further, not just with technology, but with communication. And that's really what it's all about for us. Before we play and say goodbye after that, want to make sure that that we mention that on December 18th, we're, first of all, it's going to be what we call Super Saturday. So we're going to go from one show to another show to another show. Mine, ours in the middle, and also Damayanti and Hasmukh's show, and Richard's Theatre in Belfast. It's all going to be in the afternoon. So stay in touch for that. We'll send you details for that. Also, in the works, Luc Dubois, who is my longtime collaborator, video artist, and friend, who appeared on this very stream 2 weeks ago. He will be here at as well. And if I have my druthers, we'll find some way for Tlaloc and Luc to talk together, because they use two different forms of software to make their art, which are similar, very, very similar in a way. So we'll welcome Luc back then, and hopefully more notice than an email which goes out the morning of. Times are busy. Are they busy for you? They are very busy for us. So anyway, thanks to Tláloc. Thanks to you for coming. And I often like to end these things with a little bit of a lullaby. So I'm just going to go super simple with a nice simple lullaby to send you away. Also, if anybody would like to be my 300th subscriber, unless that's already crossed, you're welcome to subscribe at Todd Reynolds, youtube.com/Todd Reynolds or toddreynolds.live. All right, let me go grab my fiddle. Sorry for the dead air. Here we go. Be safe. Be well. Till next time.